Okay, this one should be a pretty simple repair. Basically, this is a drawer we use quite a bit. It's where we keep our hot pads, right next to the stove. So, uh, a bunch of wear and tear over the years, maybe a couple times hitting or slamming it a little bit too hard, and uh, the front of the drawer just came off. So, uh, I mean, these are nice oak cabinets. This is nice oak here in the front, but this is just cheap particle board that they make the actual drawer out of. So what I'm going to do is take these screws out, probably use a chisel because this I think is glued as well. So I need to get this piece completely off of here, cut a piece that's the same size out of some scrap plywood I've got. So this is I think 7.5 by 3 3/4, and it's like 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch or anything a little bit wider is fine. Well, no, it should be 1/2 inch for this because it is cut out in the drawer here. So get that cleaned up and get that piece ready. And then the drawer, thankfully, easily comes out. So basically, there's a couple staples here. There's a screw that holds the rails in. Take that out. Again, chip out this particle board that's all garbage. Make sure that the new piece I cut fits in there just right. And then I can attach it to the front and then worry about getting it back on the drawer. So, shouldn't take too long. We'll get through this, all right? We'll go out and cut the piece for the front of the drawer and then go from there. All right, so found this little piece of scrap 1/2 inch plywood, exactly what I was looking for. It's a little rough on the end, so I'm gonna give it a nice clean cut on the end, and then we'll measure it to fit and cut it to match this size piece here. All right. So I'm going to move this stuff out of the way for the moment. And put this over here, and I'm going to go ahead and see if I can. I'm going to have a 2x4 in here. This is a whole lot shorter. There's a little bit of cranking. Yes, there's a storm blowing up, so in case you hear the wind or something. There we go. I'll just hold that in place, make that nice and easy. And now I've got this released so I can move it back and forth. So I should be able to do that. All right. And let's see here. We go back to this guy. Get this out. I can actually see how square it is. Yeah, I thought so. It moved a little bit on me when I was cutting it. Alright, let's try that one more time. Clamp it down a little bit tighter this time. Okay. Wow, that shot that back pretty good. But I feel better about this one. I don't think it moved on me that time. can see, gives a nice square cut, nice and smooth all the way down here. Okay? Alright. So width, this guy is, looks like 3 5/8 to get to that. I guess we can go this way if you want to read it that way. Should be 3 5/8. Okay. So to make little marks. Okay. Double check that again. Yep. Okay. And then let's go this way. Okay. Nice little line right down there. Looks the same. And go ahead and continue it from this side. Okay. Alrighty, so let's get this and get a general idea visually. Nope, a little too far, or not far enough. That way. Still an issue. I think that looks pretty good. Maybe just a littlest bit of a hair over yet. Yep, should cut right on the line. Alrighty. So we go ahead and we tighten it back down again. Alright, good and solid this time. Pretty good. Could have done better. Oh well. Oh well. So that's one thing about this saw. I wish it had a clamp on this side as well. It doesn't, but it is what it is. So that gets me close. I need good widthwise, and then length. What did I say? 7 7.5. Yeah, 7.5. So hard to get the exact when there's not, it's not wide enough to really do much with it. think I'm going to be able to do that. So, unfortunately, the clamp's not going to do me any good. This. So as far as it comes over is there. Well, I guess it might catch the corner of it. I don't know if that'll hold it or not. Small piece like this, I'm really not excited about holding it with my hand. But I can hold a little bit. Alrighty. So this guy, extra there. I think we're in pretty good shape. Let's see. So width-wise, we're good. Looks good there. Looks good there. I think we're in pretty good shape on that. And it's actually not too far off color-wise. It's a little rough. I might sand it down a little bit. So the next thing I'm going to do is clean the broken pieces out of the drawer, and we want to make sure that this will go into the piece in the drawer and look okay, and then we can worry about putting it on the front. So we'll do that next. So first thing I said, we need to get rid of this garbage that's in here, clean it up. So there's a couple screws, one on each side. So let's see here. So much easier than the old days. Yep, so those are out. Alright, so that leaves us, that's really pretty soft. I don't know that it's, I guess it's glued, but not well. There we go. Like that. That came right out. So let's see here. Same there. That's cool. Alright. Forgot a hammer. I want a hammer to tap those staples out, so be right back. Okay, so I'm just gonna hold this on this end, get it straight. You can see it pushed it out some. I should be able to get my pliers in there, pull that guy out, get that guy out. Alright, so hopefully it goes as easy on this side. Again, you got to brace it good. There we go. That one's going good. Up. Okay, well, first of all, let's get rid of this guy. Alright. This thing. There we go. Alrighty. Staples are out. So screws are out, staples are out. Rail's fine, it's just ready to go there. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of cleanup work here. Little wood scraps, kind of thing that just going to stick out. Okay, that part's good. Now this is the piece we just cut, and looky there. almost like it was made to fit. All right, good deal. So that'll work good once we're ready to put it in there. So we're done with that for the moment. I'm going to clean this up, but that's okay. And this guy, then what I want to do is I'm going to have holes here, and I'm not sure if those screws are the only thing holding this in here or if it's glued. So I may end up busting this up. So I'm going to take some measurements real quick just to make sure that I know where these are. So we said this guy is what, 7.5 if I remember right? Yeah, 7.5. So those screws are at 1 3/4 and 6 3/4. And they are down from, oh, hold on, which one's the top? Hold on a second. Yeah, that would be the top. So, okay. They are down 1.5 inches from the top of the board. From that one, not from this one. Interesting. They're not equal. Oh well. Should not matter, and I shouldn't need to know that, but if I do, I have the video to go back to. So, alright, so we're going to take the screws out. Awesome. Ah, beautiful. Alrighty. That's easy. So what that tells me is I can now take this guy and line it up. I'm going to be smart about this. I'm going to use this to make my marks. Okay, so I'm holding it right where it should be. And I'm going to and I've got my little spots. So again, 1 3/4, 6 3/4, a little bit off from what we had. But that's okay, and this one was a little bit lower, or not as low. All right, so I've got my 2 marks. That one, really hard to see. Do that one more time, just to make absolutely sure I don't screw it up and put it in the wrong spot. Alright, that's better. A little more visible. Alright, so now I need to drill a hole in there. I'll go find the drill bit. Don't have them with me. But drill holes in this to allow the screws to go in through the plywood and into the board, into the oak. And then we'll be ready to, we'll have to draw and put a couple pilot holes in here too. I'm not going to put staples back in it. I'll put some small screws in it. So we'll drill holes for that and put the screws in, and we'll be done. So I'll be right back. Okay, found my drill bits. So first thing, we've got this guy, which roughly equates to the hole that was in the old piece. So good enough. So take out Phillips and actually put this in. Oh, going the wrong way. Got it most of the way there. just going to hold this. This isn't necessarily the best way to do this, but oh, hold on. Got it on low. Okay, and then again, try really hard not to drill through your hand. Okay. So, a bit of a mess there, but that's okay. And then we should be able to take this guy. We're done with that drill bit, so we'll take that out. And go back to the Phillips. And back to low. Alright, so let's get these going enough so they're just starting to stick out a little bit. So you can see what I did there. You don't want them out too far because then it'll spin in this while it's trying to thread into the other wood. But this way you have something you can measure against. So if I go here, I know those are in the holes. Alright. So is it straight? Looks good from here, but it's kind of hard to tell until it's actually on. But just eyeballing it, it looks good. Alright. So that's that piece of it. So we're done with that guy. Alright, and then what we want to do is I'm going to go to the smaller bit. So I'm sure I've said this before, but what you want to do is when you look at these guys, you want basically the core, or I think it's called the inner diameter. I can't remember what the term was, but anyway, you obviously don't want it as big as the threads, but you do want it as big as the inner core so that it doesn't crack the wood when it drives them on through. So let's take this guy out again. Actually, I want this to stick out as far as possible. Yeah, that's straight. And again on that. So I'm gonna, best way to do this is probably holding it up in the air. So this is where I have a hole where the screw was before. And that's, I'm gonna do it this way. Okay. I could take that rail off to do this right, but I've got it where I want it to be. Same on the other side. We're going to go here. Just get me started into the plywood. Okay. Alright, so that's these guys here. And I'm going to go on. Oh, my screwdriver's up. Sorry. Alright, well then let's do this. We'll lay it back down. Swap this out. We're going to have to put it back in here in a second, but so put this in here the way we want it. We're going to piece that through the hole that's already existing. And alright, you want to make sure that's flush. The head of the nail or screw shouldn't be sticking out at all. Alrighty, so that's that side. And then on this side, same thing. Find the original screw. Here we go. Find the original screw. You're putting it in the hole through the railing. Alright. It's all good. So it's already holding it in place. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the small bit, because I've got these screws. They're actually decking screws, but that doesn't matter. That just means they've got a zinc coating on them. But they're number 6, so they're smallish 1-inch screws. So they should work well in this. You don't want anything too big. A, you don't want anything that's going to stick out. B, you don't want anything that's going to crack the wood. So let's actually pull this out as far as we can. And again, we're going to do this. So now I know roughly where the staples were, and the head's in place. So I'm just going to too soft. I don't want to. Okay. And then on this side, same deal. And okay. Should go in real easy now. Back on slow. Not what I meant to do. That one's better than that one is. Okay. Should be good. Pick up the one I dropped. Again, I needed a little longer to get past the outside here of the shelf. All right. So now we have the plywood on there. All good. Much sturdier than it was originally, and we're ready to go. All right, so we got her all done. It's good as new, it maybe even a little bit better than new. We put her in the rails. Awesome. All good. Alrighty, that's it for this one.